go.
Malady grabs the vessel with 2 hands and pushes it into the water. She hops on board behind you.
God-woken. Wait till she finds out.
Salty water mists your face. Your skin prickles in bright, warm sunlight. The boat bobs forward through the water, and Fort Joy shrinks behind you.
Tired but victorious, the party made for the Lady Vengeance. The horrors of Fort Joy behind them. They arrived as sorcerers. They left as God-woken. The fate of this God-forsaken world now rested on their shoulders. Or at least, on the shoulders of one of them.
Yes, this might be...
A light sea breeze kisses your cheek and carries away the smell of blood wafting up from the deck. In the distance, Fort Joy looms.
What were they thinking, standing against an Eternal? I almost pity the poor, ignorant beasts.
I'll be damned if I ever set foot on that island again. Don't care who I have to bury.
A hard-fought freedom, sure. But if spilling blood is bad, it shouldn't be so agreeable. Onward now. The sooner Fort Joy disappears from the horizon, the better. Perhaps the Seekers need help manning the ship.
Well, this is a fine sight. Utterly barbaric, of course, destroying a tree and turning it into a boat. Grotesque, but, well, look at it, Quercus. A floating nest, surrounded on all sides by salt water, pure poison to a tree's root. The great acorn could never reach us out here. Well, yes, of course we'll continue our research, Quercus. We're not monsters. Still, I must admit you were right about the shield. It proved to be more than adequate. Oh, yes, it seems our shield is still here, Quercus. How does something so large and ungainly sneak up on a person? You give the giants too much credit, Quercus. I think the salty air has addled your mind. It has certainly been useful, but elegant, kind, surprisingly attractive. No, we have no time for your fawning. We may be safe, but the world is not. Come, we must return to our research.
Claude. So close to escaping.
To you for my Seeker brethren, show us the path to salvation. Don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive. The ship won't sail. We had orders to search every corner of it and figure out what's blocking us. It's hewn from elven livewood. I thought I could communicate with it, but...
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby. Something is nestled within it. Fragments of scorched bone.
That was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him, without warning. He burned, like he was made of parchment. Nothing. The ship is live wood, that much is clear. But I couldn't communicate with it. The Magisters must have done something, warped it somehow. I just don't know what.
Her eyes flick over to the smouldering ashes once again, her head held at a despondent angle.
Thank you. We were held captive together on this ship. He kept my spirits up. Now he's dead. Just remember what I said, Godwoken. If you die, then this was all for nothing.
I remember this one. His name was Kirby. His friend's sword couldn't save him, it would appear.
Spare me, Gareth. We got what we came for. This is what success looks like.
I won't see them tossed overboard. Not here. We'll hold a proper service.
What's-his-face and so-and-so would want us to get this ship sailing before all else. They died for those Godwoken, after all.
You know their names, Malady. Can't you even pay them that much respect?
Gareth inhales sharply, then catches you out of the corner of his eye and smiles, barely.
Our guest stirs. Welcome, Godwoken. Glad to see you safely aboard.
Very glad indeed.
Too many.
One too few, actually. Alexander, he's alive. Apparently didn't hit hard enough.
He's in the hold below decks. Unconscious, but alive. Question him. Someone has been hunting your kind, and Alexander fancies himself the only Godwoken worthy of ascending. As far as we know, you may even be the last still alive. If Alexander is guilty, he'll face justice. Yes, we certainly had better, but the ship won't move.
She's mute. We need to free her tongue.
This is barbarous magic.
Expedient magic, actually. The ship is made of live wood. It has the spirit of an elven ancestor tree within it. It seems Dallas has found a way to bind that spirit to her. That means only she can control it, unless we can find a way to break the bond.
The Seekers, the survivors of us, have been combing the ship from bow to rudder. It hasn't been easy. This place is laced with dark magic.
These Seekers have such a limited skill set.
We lost a man in the search. Malady might not appreciate that, but I do. And I hope you do too.
I'm sure the Godwoken will be able to get the ship moving. They kind of like to feel useful, don't they?
It's your best that'll save us all.
There must be something around here. Something we're missing.
Look who we have here. the would-be slave, no less. I wouldn't have bet tuppence on your survival, yet here you are. It is quite a tale, I assure you. And the upshot of it all is that I've accomplished a goal on this horrid isle that came quite unforeseen. But of course, first you must know that I'm a prince, the Red Prince. I'll give you a moment to let that sink in. You have no doubt heard the tales of certain setbacks that befell me. Setbacks that forced me to leave the ancient empire, my empire. It was then, forced as I was to wander the wilds, that a voice first began to reach me in my dreams. But the voice spoke from too great a distance, too faintly to be understood. Yet I had to understand. Somehow I knew this to be of vital importance. I searched this island for a dreamer, one of the mystics of our kind, who, as you undoubtedly know, can travel the dream world at will, as if it were another realm just as real as our own. And so I met with Bahara in the sanctuary of Amadia. We raced through dream wastes, beset by nightmares, until we reached the voice. It turns out it was that of Brahmos the Wanderer, the greatest and most elusive dreamer of them all. He desires that I should meet him, somewhere on Reaper's coast. And meet him I shall. That is where my journey takes me next.
You made it, Godwoken. Good. Not all of us did, though. The sooner we leave this island behind us, the better.
There must be some way to get this ship moving. There has to be.
The lady's a sturdy old tub. Take a lot to sink her.
The silent monk leans from 1 foot.
Nothing. Damn it.
You made it out. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure you had it in you, but I'm glad you did.
An amused expression crinkles the crow's feet at Iffin's greying temples. His face looks a lot older than the bright green eyes gazing out.
Nice to meet another so-called Godwoken. Says you.
He casts a long glance up and down your bedraggled form.
Reckon I look about as Godwoken as you do. I'm gonna hunt down my old pack leader and find some answers. The Lone Wolves have been tasked with killing Godwoken. I'm Godwoken, and a Lone Wolf. That's a problem. Say, on the way there I could use someone to watch my back. And it looks like you could use someone to watch yours. Want to team up?
He shrugs, looking off to the side.
Mercenaries. It's a job. My job. Good folks to have around in a crisis.
I must say, personally, I am just glad that I do not have to walk back to Reaper's Coast. Wind travel may be primitive, but it is at least efficient. Livewood? You have taken a dead elf and carved it into a pleasure yacht? I knew you people were barbarians. I had no idea you were sadists, too. Well, no matter. Whatever gets me to Reaper's Coast quickly. I have an excavation site to explore. The only treasure worth digging for. Knowledge. I was investigating a site where several artifacts of my people have been found. Some were even intact. Alas, I was not the only one there. Those red-robed idiots were scurrying about too, trampling precious clues under their ignorant boots. They caught me when I failed to correctly respond to their questions, and dragged me here. Still, it's good to be on the move again. They simply asked me what I was doing there, and I simply told them to be gone from my lands. I may have used the phrase pathetic mortals. Come to think of it, I may have used it several times. Damn fools. The faster we leave them behind, the happier I shall be. Is that so? Perhaps we could find an arrangement that benefits us both. I need to travel to the Black Pit's oil field, near Reaper's Coast. Given how well you handled yourself in Fort Joy, I rather think you could be of use. And I am certainly useful to you. So, how about it? I travel with you and aid you in your various chores and tasks, while you help me to remain incognito. Very well. Let's be off.
Melody says if we can get the ship to move, we can go home. Home!
Will I know it when I see it?
There's something to these doors I'm not seeing. But what?
Hey! You're here! Pretty nice boat, eh? We got an upgrade. There's got to be another way to get it going, but we can't find a way to...
Speak to me if you're looking for hired help. I've got good fighters of every stripe. They know how to keep their mouths shut too. And so, what'll it be?
We've braved the joy, and I lust for further adventure. What say you? Shall we continue our journey together?
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sebille in any sort of proximity, but at least she's on your side. For the moment.
Hey, don't I know you from somewhere? So, we've got quite the task on our hands, haven't we? I have to admit, the whole thing is very intriguing. The old band back together again, I guess that depends, doesn't it? Look at me. Hard. What do you see?
Lohse leans back slightly, thin arms crossed in front of her chest, and stares at you defiantly from dark eye sockets, darker and deeper set than when you first met. She blows back a lock of white hair, matted with sweat and grime, and holds back a smile from the corners of her lips.
But I'm not the same, am I? I want to make sure you understand, well, the risks. You don't get it. I'm dangerous. You have to pay attention. You have to be willing to hurt me if I'm hurting you or someone else. Can you do that? Do I ever? Still sore from that one. At the time, I wanted you to defend me. I didn't realize how bad things had gotten. I know better now. Something like that happens again, you do what needs to be done. Deal? Fair enough, but I can't walk beside you then. I need more than a companion. I need someone I can trust to do what needs to be done. You let me know if you change your mind. Hey, if you're here to talk about traveling together again, my mind hasn't changed. Unless I can trust you to do what you need to do if the thing takes control, I can't go with you. Well then, hey, if you're here to talk about, well then, hey, if you're here to talk about, well then, all the best.
You keep saying that.
Hey, if you're here to talk about traveling together, really? Really, really?
She grabs your hand enthusiastically and shakes it hard.
Then the contract is sealed. Let's go, Chief.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. Enough!
Whatever type of companion you need, I can.
What's this? I found something.
The Seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the bloody Divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints are paying the price. No, they had us down below, chained up in the dark. But the Reds were up to something in here. Maybe it was just the lack of food and rest playing tricks, but I swear I heard chanting and horrible moaning coming from here. But when we broke free, it was empty. We're a big bloody target on our backs. We took their leader and their flagship. The Hammer won't stand for that. She'll be hunting for us.
The Seeker throws a toxic look at the imprisoned Magister.
Hardly. She's just some deckhand. If it were up to me, I'd tie her to the main mast and use her for arrow practice. But Malady wants her alive for now. Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold, and the other one ain't in much of a talking mood. All right then, just don't make me regret it. I'll keep an eye on the Red until the cage is locked again.
A young Magister paces around the brig, fussing over Alexander's unconscious form. She leans over and applies a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot. So stow your questions, lizard. Ranley, Corker's mate, Lady Vengeance. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
The Magister falls silent, but stares at you with unwavering defiance. There's a shift in the Magister's expression, a flicker of doubt. Then...
I'm a good Magister, loyal. But Dallas, something about her has changed. She's toying with dark magic, like a common sorcerer. She used to sing to the ship. It let her control it. She had this old book of hymns and incantations. It was only ever in her hands, or else locked away in her cabin at the stern. That's all I know. Get away from him, sorcerer. That's the divine. All right. Don't harm him. I'll be watching.
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells. A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope. The gem sits heavily in your pouch.
Something useful.
You spoke, didn't you? Ha! I knew you would eventually.
Magister ran. Corker's mate.
Too late for that now, Red. The bell can't be unrung.
I'll keep an eye on the Red until the cage is locked again.
You spoke, didn't you? Ha! I knew you would eventually.
Magister ran. Corker's mate.
Too late for that now, Red. The bell can't be unrung.
Expert warriors for hire, all seasoned in combat. They won't let you down. You can put a price on the warriors I have for hire, but you can't put a price on the glory they'll win you. No one ever regretted having extra help in a fight. I'll guarantee you that. I've got sword fighters, mages, archers, all willing to fight by your side if the price is right. Expert warriors for hire, all seasoned in combat. They won't let you down.
it.
You can put a price on the warriors I have for hire, but you can't put a price on the glory they'll win you. Allies for hire. Whatever type of companion you need, I can provide. Expert warriors for hire, all seasoned in combat. They won't let you down. You can put a price on the warriors I have for hire, but you can't put a price on the glory they'll win you.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice its unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. For a moment, you swear a face appears in the wood. A face tortured and tormented, a six-sided shape carved upon its forehead. The face vanishes. The anguished face appears, then vanishes. The door remains closed. The door remains unmarked. The thud of your fist upon the wood resonates deeper than you'd expected it to. It turns into what sounds like a moan, then echoes away into silence. The door remains closed. The door remains unmarked. The anguished face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you the sternest of looks.
I am summoned. Speak the password. You've summoned me with the gem, indeed. Now,
the password. Yes, and yes again. The word is spoken. Welcome to the stateroom. Enter at your leisure.
Just one more moment, please.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
And there. Rescued at last, am I? To whom do I owe my thanks? I'm a prisoner, of course. Do you think I'd be sitting here calmly if I was a Magister holdout? That infernal Dallas woman left me trapped here, too weak to escape. It seems I'm in your debt. Dallas took a particular interest in me and my skills. I'm an expert in healing, crafting, and more arcane practices. She kept me here to do her bidding. Until you took her flagship from right under her nose, it seems. Oh, yes. And she could be a most cruel mistress, I'm sad to report.
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath, the skin is withered and discolored, as if it were magically decayed.
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and I've ruined them in the process. Well, the situation is looking immeasurably better now. You'll hear no more complaints from me. So why don't you tell me all about my valiant rescuers? To whom do I owe my thanks? You undersell yourself. The roster of those who stood up to the Magisters and lived to tell the tale is a short one. I ought to continue what I'm doing here, unless there was anything else. Oh, cast spells, tinker with relics, meddle with the laws of nature. All the sorts of things power-hungry despots love to do. She had me enchanted dead cat over there, so it would seem alive.
He clicks the gauntlet into place around his withered forearm, his eyes on you the whole time.
But that damn contraption that she used on me seems to have fogged my memory. The rest is a blur. No! Necromancy is an unsavory practice, not something to be trifled with lightly. This is but a cunning illusion of my own creation, nothing more.
His face abruptly creases into a smile.
But come now, enough of Dallas and dead cats. You've taken this ship and granted my freedom. This is a happy moment. Dallas didn't tell me anything if she could avoid it, but I did overhear her practicing an ancient lizard dialect. That might ring a bell with you, might it? My thoughts exactly. Curious how Dallas would seek to learn such things, don't you think? Perhaps she left something behind to point to her intentions. Took it? No. I made it? Have you seen the kind of metalwork the Magisters deploy? This is in a different class to them. As I said, the Magisters left me weakened. But this will help give me the strength to carry on my work. Despite what she did to me, I can't help but admire the woman a little. She's unwavering. She will break before she bends. If you cross paths with her, be sure to break her. I doubt you will get another chance. Trust me, convenient is the last word I'd use to describe the experience. Pass me that copper wire there, would you?
He takes the copper with a nod of gratitude. His sleeve slips back above his elbow. In its crook, you see part of a tattoo. A pattern of concentric circles rendered in black.
Perhaps my memory will come back with time. But for now, I'm afraid there's little more I can add. I'm doing my utmost to be civil to you, under rather trying circumstances. Why must you push me like this? Well, you're painting me into a corner here, friend. And I don't like to be cornered.
Let the creature live. He is hardly worth our time.
Anyone who faced enslavement deserves our sympathy, not our blades. Leave him.
Something tells me that he'll only bring us woe, but I can't judge him yet.
He takes your hand in his gauntlet-clad fist and shakes it. There's a lot more power in his grip than his slender frame would suggest.
Call me Tarquin, and consider me at your service. We're barely acquainted. Why should I tell you anything personal?
This is written in ancient lizard script. It appears to be a song. What's this? I found something. What's this? I found something.
As I stalk, my tail rattles like a snake's. I suffer. Don't touch me. My very being is a curse. Was Tarquin that wretch, that rat? I ate an ill mouse and passed in my sleep, and the brooding boar brought me back on a lark. Me miserable. Mumsy? Is she here? Mumsy, where are you? 'Tis I, Booply Bear. I am quite changed, but don't be frightened.
You? She sent you?
The cat begins to purr and rub itself on your ankles.
Any friend to Mumsy is a friend to me. I believe the song is around here somewhere. The song, of course. Trouble not my weary mind with duncery.
The cat purrs, an eerie clicking sound.
Tell Mumsy to come back soon. Now that I am but bone, I'm too light to trip the moving door.
Oh, Quercus, don't be like that. I was looking at his bone structure for academic purposes. There's nothing to be jealous of, honestly.
Pyramid. What on Revelon is this for?
A teleporter pyramid. Only one way to find out if it works. Try using it.
You eat Griff's hand, and you see him putting animals, dead for days in the blistering sun, whole into his cooking pot. Probably best to pass on the stew.
to none.
Guards or victims?
Both, I fear.
Another pyramid.
I'm glad you decided to put that moment of doubt behind you. The last thing we need here is more unpleasantness.
won't let you down. warriors for hire, all seasoned in combat. They won't let you down. You can put a price on the warriors I have for hire, but you can't put a price on the glory they'll win you. Allies for hire.
You saw what I could not. It seems Melody is quite right about you.
We have to find a way to get this ship moving. We can't let the Magisters catch up with us. We're too weak to fight them again.
must be some way to get this ship moving. There has to be.
Our entire mission will have been for nothing if we don't escape from here. We have to get this ship moving.
Our survival hinges on getting this ship moving, Godwalker. We're searching every corner.
There you are. I was just thinking of you. Indeed? Excellent. You've shown some ingenuity. Now show me more, and search every corner of those quarters. There must be a way to control this ship tucked away somewhere. This is Dallas's ship, but she can't have been the only one who could get it moving. It'd be too risky, and Dallas is anything but careless. There's a way to move this ship on board, I'm sure of it. The figurehead has certainly caused a commotion lately. But then again, so have the doors downstairs. Everywhere you look, a hunk of wood looking to incinerate or stymie you. Naughty lizards. Then I suppose that rune on the figurehead was a slave scar. This tone must be the song that controls it. Well done. Go on then. Sing it to the figurehead and get her to sail. Atta Godwoken.
Void Slayer, Worm Killer, Godwoken. You have many names. Let's add ship's captain to the list once we get this thing moving, shall we? Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Got family near there. Not the adventuring types. For the best, really. Meister Siever's there too. One of your kin. My leader. Our leader. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. She'll reveal them to you. Show you how to manipulate them. She's not, well, not in the strictest sense. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siever says, and I don't doubt it. I don't know how Siever came to know her, but Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her coldness.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade. He stares at nothing in particular before turning his gaze back to you.
I won't let the fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallas, no better than Alexander, if I just tossed their remains into the sea. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. All this blood. Children ripped from families. Seekers ripped from me. He's down there now, guarded like some precious jewel, rather than leashed and flogged like the dog he is. Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. That was before we found the others.
Other Godwoken? When Lucian died, we waited, and waited some more. Alexander never rose to divinity. Then we started to find more like him.
We weren't the only ones who noticed either. Not every Godwoken we found was alive. And so the Seekers were born. We found Godwoken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. I was naive. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead.
Keep Lucian close, Godwoken.
Be careful around the figurehead, Godwoken. We can't afford to lose you. Hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Deliver us from peril. Hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Deliver us from peril. Sendelius, pray to you for my Seeker brethren. Show us the path to salvation. Sendelius, pray to you for my Seeker brethren. Show us the path to salvation. Sendelius, hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Deliver us from peril. Ascendelius, hear my prayer.
Before you is a towering figurehead carved in the likeness of a dragon. It looms over the bow, its fangs bared at the open sea. At that moment, the ship serendipitously creaks beneath you, almost like it is acknowledging your observation. The deck beneath you groans and trembles, like the ship itself is awaking from a slumber. A deep sigh emerges, unmistakably the sound of a living being.
You are not the witch. You are not Dallas. You sang the song. Now you must decide my fate. Are you to be my new master? Perhaps lizard blood does not truly run cold then. Thank you. But I cannot be free again. Not truly. I am a vessel and must be guided. Let me take you wherever you wish. We can depart as soon as you are ready. Ask. I am here to serve in all ways.
The creaking of the ship eases into a contemplative silence.
Once, I was an elf. I passed away and was reborn as an ancestor tree in a beautiful forest surrounded by kin of both flesh and root. But that time has passed. I saw that forest reduced to a dead place. Then I was taken away. My memories were lost like the leaves from my branches.
The sails overhead billow outwards suddenly. The sun is blocked, momentarily casting the dragon figurehead into shadow.
Magisters, they razed sacred elven lands and uprooted ancestor trees from the earth. I was one of them. They tore me apart and turned me into this monstrosity. Of course, wherever there is sea, I will endeavor to bring you. Consult with your companions and set a course.
The ship's awake. Good. Is she ready to sail?
A slow, toothless smile stretches across her face.
To driftwood, then. It most certainly is. Forward.
With the sun on their backs and the wind in their sails, the Godwoken watched Fort Joy shrink behind them. But their capture of the Lady Vengeance had not gone unnoticed.
I respect your mettle, sorcerers. You steal my ship, kill my bishop, and ally with demons, but you have no idea what you're really dealing with.
We are ready, mistress.
Yes, but are they?
I swear, mistress. I swear they'll perform admirably.
Very well. Show me. Goodbye, sorcerers. This is my ship. I won't see it taken from under my feet. You act!
Oh, for the love of the void. Listen up. We can't win this one, but I can get us to safety. You'll need to buy me time. Show us what you can do, Godwoken.
Godwoken? Parasites, rather.
I'll take care of it, mistress. Let's see how it suits.
Stop that elf! Her sorcery must be silenced!
In my belly, ready to burst.
take me again, Dallas.
the half-demon malady. The Godwoken escaped through the veil that separates life from death.
The air here has a familiar smell, like the place you grew up. Old memories begin to well within you, but the sweet sour smell of decay suddenly punctures them. A faint creaking sounds in the distance.
Is that a tree? What's hanging from it? Must be a weird cross. Solstice. The gods. Are they dead? How can this be?
Ever-tightening cursed branches constrict the great dwarven god Duna. His eyelids flutter, and his face, bluish and bloated, nods. Ralik hangs limp from the tree, cursed branches constricting him, snake-like from foot to shoulders. His helmeted head hangs slack at his side, but a barely audible wheeze rasps from his lips.
Hurry!
Amadia hangs before you, her face cut and bruised, her chest barely moving. You think you see a tear run down her cheek. You lean in. That's no tear. It's sauce. The shimmering liquid is seeping from her wounds and dripping to the ground below her. Before you hangs a great ethereal orc, his face twisted in a knot of pain as cursed tendrils constrict him. A small, stout imp winces under the countless cursed threads that bind her. Tight coils wrap Tyr Sendelius from head to foot. His still face is set to a glowering sneer. Cursed tendrils tighten around Solstice. Her lips are moving, but no words seem able to escape her lips. Cursed tendrils tighten around Zorstissa. Her lips are moving. Before you hangs a great... Before you hangs a great... Cursed tendrils tighten around... As the cursed tendrils slacken, Zorstissa inhales deeply, air wheezing into her throat. Wheezes become a hum, then a gently wavering song.
A champion I called. My champion did come. First among my chosen, first among them. Together we gazed into the black. We turned our backs to it. We turned. You have come. My chosen. It is not too late, not yet, but almost. Yes, and while we quibbled, an enemy greater than any one of us stole in like a thief in the night. But here you are, my chosen, my God-woken, our hope. You will undo what has been done. I saw it as I drifted here. At the midpoint between reality and oblivion. I saw Rivalon. But there was no Rivalon. There were no people, no ancient empire, none of our people, none of our great works. I grow cold now, even thinking about it. It was not a dream, God-woken. It was a threat. A promise from our enemy. The enemy you and you alone can stop. It was a vision of the void, and it made me tremble with fear. Yes, my chosen. I, the goddess, I who created you, tremble. Soon the Seven will be nothing but morsels in the maws of the void, unless you do as I bid you. Do what I blessed you for. You have already set loose some of the powers locked within you. But there is a great well of possibility as yet untapped. You cannot stop until you ascend to the highest heights of your power. You cannot stop until you become divine. Like Lucian, you will be called to unite the powers of the Seven against the Void. Like Lucian, you will lead our proud people to preeminence. But, unlike Lucian, your weakness will not lead you to foolish failure.
She opens her mouth to respond, but stops dead. Her head jerks from side to side, searching for something unseen.
You must hurry. I hear it singing to me. Fire and ice, death and skulls, blackness, blackness. Go!
White-hot cold pierces your heart like a blade. You are frozen to the spot. The burning cold pumps through you like a curse, and then... the same troubled look is visible on each face. You've seen the gods beaten and defiled, strung up as a warning.
I had dreams of what I should say if I saw the Seven Lords once more. But that was a nightmare.
What can yet be blessed can yet be restored. One way or another, divinity will survive. Through all of you and all of me.
Gods, schmods. They aren't interested in me, and I'm not interested in them. It seems whatever's inside me is more powerful than any of them anyway. Or at least more cunning.
Where have you been? I can't keep this up much longer. We need to go. There's no time. I can't hold us here. Brace yourself. This might hurt a lot.
The chill of the Hall of Echoes clung to the Lady Vengeance as it returned to the shores of Reaper's Coast. The Godwoken were alive, but what of the gods?
Solid ground materializes beneath your feet. Your weight falls back into your body all at once, and bright sunlight stings your eyes. As your eyes adjust, you realize you're still aboard the Lady Vengeance. A gust of fresh sea air caresses you, and warm sunshine prickles your skin.
Oh, one moment, please. Oh, just a moment.
Melody explodes in a fit of retching that racks her body. At last, she sneezes and expels a glob of something shiny and silver onto the deck. It wriggles quickly off the siding and plummets into the sea with a splash.
Better. Let's not do that again anytime soon. Well, we needed to escape, didn't we? So I took us the one place I was quite certain Dallas couldn't follow. I suppose you recognized the Hall of Echoes from those visions you'd had before. Realm of the dead, realm of divinity. I do hope you learned something useful on our little field trip. Desperate how? I see. So, your god seemed uncharacteristically frightened, told you the void was coming, and that only you could ascend to divinity, after which you felt a cold deep within you. Well then, it sounds like you need to ascend, doesn't it? And quickly.
She inspects her fingernails with great attention, then looks up at you from under an arched eyebrow.
Did they mention how you were meant to become the next divine? Well, luckily for you, Mama Malady is here to help. We already know you can bless, but as far as I know, you can neither see source nor take it as you see fit. I may not know much about divinity, but I do know that any godwoken worth their salt will know how to perform all these oh so fantastic feats. You need to go see the Meister. She's got one of those things in Driftwood, you know, the building where people go and they do things inside of it. Home, that's it. She's got a home in Driftwood. Give me your map. There you are. Tell her I sent you and she'll handle the rest. You're at the beginning of a long journey, Godwoken. Long, but exceedingly interesting. Now, I must be going, and so must you. Why, our faithful little sloop, of course. We can all ride together. Won't that be terribly fun? Shopping. Before you go, if I'm not back by the time you find out where our journey takes us next, you can call me back here. Tell the ship. She'll know how to summon me. And in the unlikely case you don't manage to do whatever it is you'll need to do to become what you need to become, you could call me. But I would be grateful if it doesn't come to that.
Hail, friend, and remember, in Lucian's love there could be no wrong. Paradise awaits, my friend. Not an actual paradise, of course. I don't think there's such a place in all of Rivellon. Paradise Downs. My parents still sow the soil there. And if the Order hadn't called me to its ranks, I'd still call their farm my home. I miss it. I miss them. They've been forever understanding of my duty. But I admit, I've been neglectful. I have some wrongs to right. Only as often as I need his guidance, Godwoken. When I invoke Lucian's words, I invoke his deeds too. He stood for the defenseless when the Black Ring rose up. For all of us. For my mother, my father.
Gareth's nostalgia lasts for just a moment longer. He composes himself, clears his throat, and waits for your next question.
I expect Malady has an answer to that. It seems she's got it all in hand.
Yes?
Damn it, is nowhere safe! Red-robed lunatics at sea, those void-woken seedlings in the swamp. It all points to the great acorn. It's coming, Quercus! What if it's too late, What if the Knights of Dre are too far ahead in their plans? At least here, our shield's ignorance can be forgiven, Quercus. The Knights of Dre do not go out of their way to boast about their existence. You know their order, my friend. Mystic Squirrel Knights, sworn to the great acorn, trying to bring about its return.
The squirrel absent-mindedly runs a paw over Quercus's spine. The air fills with the sound of soft, dusty purring.
They plan to inherit the everlasting forest once the acorn drops, and the world is rid of all giants. They believe that only the arboreal will, and should, survive. I don't know. I am trying, of course. But how does one battle a power like the Great Acorn? The Knights of Dre are a dangerous, dangerous order. Lunatics. A single-minded devotion to bringing about the end of the world. Together, Quercus, we can develop some magic to save us from the Great Acorn, if our shield can keep us alive. Yes, it has done an admirable job so far. It certainly lasted longer than I thought it would. But does it understand that we could be wiped out at any moment? Does it understand the risk? Trust. Do you remember trust, Quercus? I'm not sure I do. Well, yes, of course I trust you, Quercus. You're different. But perhaps we should show a little faith in our shield, too.
The squirrel reaches out and touches your ankle, sending a hot flush rippling through your body. Your mind's eye sees new potential spells swirling before it.
Now, listen carefully, shield. The plan is thus. Do not die. If the shield can hold up its end of the bargain, we might just have a chance to complete our research. We might make it yet, Quercus.
I hadn't realized I was in such illustrious company when we met before. Most fascinating, the things I've been hearing about you. That you're, how did Malady put it again? A godwoken. Yes, that's it. Quite remarkable if it's true. Come now. You've seen the state of things. A potential savior from all this void-woken nonsense would be of interest to everyone with a beating heart. And some without, I would imagine.
Tarquin pauses, taking you in. Genial smile and calculating eyes.
Most people are too sentimental to admit that friendship is a transaction. I am not. I'm sure we can both be of use to each other. Marvelous. Great things abound in our future, I'm sure.
Here we are, Reaper's Coast. We made it. You celebrate too early. To be godwoken is all well and good, but above all, I've yet to find the Master. Somewhere further inland, Roost Anlon breathes. All I have to do now is pick up his scent and make his last breath worth my while.
This shrine fills you with a sense of peace. It is your body is still, but your soul floats upwards. You see yourself when you look down, content, safe,